all honorable dignitaries from the Republic of Poland, respected Chair Dr. Utma Shujat, and ladies and gentlemen. This is Sidra Ahmed from the H.S. Upal University, and my co-author is Dr. Rizwana Shibli from Federal Urdu University. Well, because of some medical reasons, I'm unable to attend the conference physically, and that's why the organizers of this conference allowed me to present my paper virtually. So, let me show you the topic of my presentation. Pakistan-Poland relations, prospects for peace and development, and it is evident from the topic that in this paper I am giving an overview of the state of relations between the two nations, and in the later part I will discuss about the prospects and possibilities and the recommendation as well. So, as we all know that this year Pakistan and Poland celebrated 60 years of mutual respect and cordiality. The continental agenda focused on political and military dialogue to promote peace, economic cooperation, and people-to-people relations. The positivity of the relations among two countries reinforces their opportunities for peace and development, which is significant for long and sustainable relations built on mutual trust, respect, and collaboration. Despite transitioning world order, peace and development remain in focus, prime focus of all policy debates. Both concepts have been widely discussed as a vital force to eliminate the risk of conflict, to bring prosperity, and to enhance the nation's sphere of influence. The social order and economic progress within and outside the country determines the prospects for peace and development. These elements are inevitable to build, expand, and strengthen sustainable bilateral relations. Pakistan, for its long-term commitment to liberate its region from all traditional and non-traditional security threats, has emerged into global politics for all the right reasons. Pakistan has learned the lesson very hard way. Building sustainable peace in the region to move towards the extra-regional opportunities are now considered as the only way to fit into this challenging and transitioning time when the nations are exploring new corridors and trying for alternative options. Pakistan's alliance during the Cold War with the Western Bloc against the Soviet Union, and then later on for 2 decades, partnering in war on terror, sternly sabotaged the state of peace and security at home, damaged its reputation as a responsible state, and withered its opportunities for economic and human development. According to a research done throughout 2016 by the Foreign Service Program at the University of Oxford about Pakistan's perception in the eyes of the world, results of that study suggested that Pakistan was not trusted by the international community due to narrow scope of its foreign policy measures, fickle democracy, limited participation in regional and international trade, and overemphasis on hard power rather than soft power. The recent findings summarize that the world's strongest associations with Pakistan were with the keywords like nuclear weapons, terrorism, security, Islam, Talibanization, etc. Instead of peace, stability, the keywords like peace, stability, freedom, and progress. This perception of Pakistan as a militarized or security state remained widespread for a long time. But now, after learning lessons from its difficult past, the time has come when Pakistan must focus on achieving peace and prosperity not just by the means, but through imparting democratic norms in its internal and external conduct, economic diplomacy, and cultural exchange. Similarly, our strengthened economy rendered Pakistan in an awful situation to seek help from friendly countries. Pakistan and its friends have to revisit their policy of engagements with Pakistan. It should be now trade, not aid. Since both countries are blessed with a unique geostrategic location, which is ideal for trade channelizing deeper into the regions. Their respective foreign opportunities is boundless. Moreover, the diversity of cultures and range of products we have to maximize the potential investors, ultimately lead cooperation and development in social and economic sector. So let us discuss about the aims of the study. Is number one, to explore untapped avenues of mutual cooperation. development thinker of our time, of course, in his theory of development explains development as a way of expanding freedom that helps to overcome many of the structural problems which are obstructing the opportunities. The combined theory of peace and development advocates for equitable distribution of economic, social opportunities, protected security, and political freedom. Besides theoretical elucidation, the concept of soft power that was originated by Joseph S. Nye, which supports basically the culture of peace to bring people together through peaceful means, that is trade and dialogue. So this has also been used for the conceptual explanation. This paper shall explain the prospects for peace and development between Pakistan and Poland using the two scholarly theories in a distinct theoretical synchronization as well as the conceptual framework of soft power. Binary of peace and development. Peace and development go hand in hand, but peace is the precondition for development. Pakistan and Poland both may take advantage of stable and peaceful bilateral relations to promote their agenda for development. Following model reflects the binary of peace and development, where the peace is the mean to achieve the end, that is development, to the smart and substantive implication of diplomacy, politics, and trade. Let me show you the model. Here you can see the binary of peace and development, and it is actually stimulating through the right amount of politics, diplomacy, and trade. Now there is a question that why Poland is important for Pakistan. The formal diplomatic relations between Pakistan and Poland were established on December 17, 1962, but that was not the first time Polish people were introduced to this land. Despite geographical distance of 4,720 kilometers, Poland has an old history of visiting this region. The present-day Pakistan is situated. It was the first time in medieval ages that Polish explorers reached to this part of the land. The earliest topographic description of Gudza and Goragram was later produced in 19th century by two Polish researchers, John Gosby and Florencia Grabowski. More than 21,000 Polish war refugees had been evacuated from the USSR by General Angers army during World War II found safety in Karachi and Quetta. Later Polish airmen who had served in Polish army made a significant contribution to the development of Pakistan Air Force and civil aviation during the vital years of Pakistan pledging sovereignty. Regardless of quite an active involvement of Poland before and after the creation of Pakistan, the bilateral relations never got much space in global news. Poland is a market with huge potential not yet explored thoroughly by Pakistani business, which tends to focus mainly on the European Union countries. Poland has a mixed, highly industrialized economy with a developed market that serves as the sixth largest in the European Union by nominal GDP and fifth largest by GDP. Beyond regional markets, Poland offers an interesting alternative to Pakistan, having less competition and at the same time providing an easy access to the rest of the European markets. People-to-people relations companies have made significant investments in Pakistan as a key component of Poland's economic cooperation. The gas explored by Polish business was sold in Pakistan to its local consumers. The Pakistani business community is urged to look at Poland's potential for trade, investments, linked for import and export and marketing initiatives. Poland has a sound free market economy that abides by the highest quality and conditions standards in all of Europe. It's also the market that is quickly growing, combining the knowledge and technology advancement of established economies with the cost, rate of growth, and prospects more frequently seen in developing markets. It is situated, now this is very important, each of its three pillars: human rights, peace and security, and development. Whereas Pakistan is known for its dynamic role in world peace and cooperation through its constant and meaningful contributions in UN peace missions, active engagements in regional and international organizations, and bilateral relations with nations of the world based on mutual interest, peace and development through economy. Pakistan often claims to seek a policy of trade, not aid, to fix its weak economy. Over the time, various political leaders have used this fascinating phrase to exhibit their commitment to bring economic prosperity and national dignity, and apparently few measures have been taken to expand options for free trade and ease of doing business. However, due to repressive trade policies, lack of political stability, less innovative projects, and flaky financial indicators at home, Pakistan has not achieved its aspired trade volume with any of its friendly states. Poland can be a good case to study and to make policies